The night in Okeoro was soft, quiet, like a sleeping song. Crickets sang their endless tune in the tall grass. The moon hung high above me, fat and round like a calabash filled with light. Odo Ace, the river, moved slow and sure, its water glistening like silver under heaven's eye. I walked quietly through the dark paths, my wrapper tied snugly around my waist. My heart beat louder with every step. And then I saw him, Tolu, waiting beneath the big Iroko tree. He always waited. Tolu, I whispered, smiling as I stepped into his arms. You came early. I cannot sleep if I do not see you, he said, his smile warm, full of mischief and love. I touched his chest, feeling the steady beat beneath his skin. You always know what to say. We walked hand in hand down to the riverbank. The air was cool and clean. Frogs croaked somewhere in the water. The trees stood tall and still, like they were watching over us. Under the moon, I let my wrapper fall. Tolu took the soap from a leaf bowl and began to wash my back, slowly, carefully. His hands were kind. I closed my eyes, letting the feeling carry me. Your touch is sweet, Tolu, I whispered. And your skin is soft like palm oil, he said, kissing my shoulder. When I turned to face him, our eyes met, and then our lips. We kissed, deep and slow. My hands slid through his hair. His arms pulled me close until my bare body pressed to his. He laid me down on the soft grass by the river. The night wrapped itself around us like a secret. Our bodies moved together, gentle and hot, like we'd done this many times and would keep doing it until time forgot us. Afterward, I rested my head on his chest, listening to the quiet thud of his heart. Do you think they'll ever allow us to be together? I asked. Tolu sighed, his breath heavy. Your father is the chief's advisor. My father taps palm wine. They see me as nothing. But I love you, I said. Is that not enough? In this village, he replied, love is not enough. I sat up, wrapped my cloth around me again and stared out at the water. I want to leave this place, Tolu. Let's run. Ibadan, Lagos, anywhere. We'll start a new life. He sat beside me and took my hand. And if we run, your father will curse us. The chief will send men. They'll call us mad. I cupped his face. Let them say what they like. My heart is yours. We kissed again, and in the tall grass not far behind us, someone watched. The next day, the sun blazed over Okeoro like it was angry. I went to the market with the other women, pretending nothing had happened, but something had, something sacred, and someone had seen. Bosidi, the village gossip, the elder's daughter, stood before the chief with a grin dressed as concern. I saw them, she said, Tolu and Adaronki, by the river, naked, like goats. My father's face darkened. Adaronki would never shame us. She has, Bosid said. I saw her wrapper on the ground. The chief hit his staff on the floor. Call her. My legs trembled as I was brought before them. My father stared at me, searching my face for denial. Is it true? He asked. Did you go to the river at night with that boy? I lowered my eyes. Yes, Baba. Slap. His hand met my face with fury. Pain and shame burned across my cheek. Shameless girl, he shouted. You were born to the house of wisdom, not the house of whores. The chief stood. You broke our law. You will be taken to the women's hut for cleansing. 1 full moon. Tears spilled from my eyes. Please. Silence. They dragged me away. The women's hut was quiet, smoky, cold, yet burning. I sat on a raffia mat, crying into the night. A clay pot burned beside me, its fire steady. Iya Ifagbemi, the old priestess, sat before me, stringing cowries onto red cloth. You are lucky, child, she said, her voice dry like the harmattan. The chief could have banished you, or worse. But we only loved each other, I whispered. She looked at me, eyes sharp. Love is a wild goat in this village. It runs too fast, and when it enters a farm, it destroys. I wiped my face. Then maybe I want to follow the goat. She smiled faintly. Then be ready to suffer. I heard his voice before I saw him. I want to speak, Tolu shouted from the palace gates. I wasn't there, but I was told everything. How he stood under the sun, hunger in his belly, dust on his feet, but fire in his voice. How he said, I love her, I am not ashamed, I am not afraid, let her go. How my father called him nothing. How the chief warned him. And how he stood proud and steady and said, if love is shameful, then let me carry the shame. But don't punish her alone. Take me too. There was silence. Then Babalani, the village elder, stepped forward and said, let him take her place. And just like that, he did. That night they brought him to the women's hut. Iya Ifagbemi sat before him, shaking her head. You are not like other boys, she said. I only want to see her smile again, he told her. The next morning, they tied him to the big Iroko tree. They whipped him. I watched from behind a hut, biting my knuckles, my eyes drowning. The whip cracked, once, twice, blood ran down his back, the dust rose like smoke, but he didn't scream. At the 15th lash, Babalani raised his staff. Enough. And the chief nodded. Let him go. I ran to him, held him, cried into his neck. I'm here, I whispered. I'm here, my love. He looked up, bruised, bleeding, but peaceful. You are free now. Weeks passed. He healed slowly. I cared for him every day. The chief allowed me to visit but never to stay. They still watched us, still whispered. But we didn't care. One morning before the sun rose, we walked back to the river. We stood where we always did, beneath the Iroko. I still want to run, I told him. And I will go, he said, if you ask me to. I took his hand, but maybe we don't need to run. Maybe we stay. Let them watch. Let them see what love looks like in the open. And so we stayed, not hidden, not afraid. Every night we met by the river, we touched, we kissed, we whispered. Sometimes we made love beneath the stars, slow, deep, without shame. Some people still talked, but some began to see, and the river remembered, always, because Tolu touched me with love.